Now, we did not have Patrick join us Friday. As his normal spot. We had him the previous day, last Thursday. But Friday, you had to attend a service.
Father Brian O'Rourke from Sainted Aunt Helen's brood of kids lived right across the corner from St. Mark's in their youth, and Wilder there, around the corner.
Yep.
And Brian died, I think, in April, late April. And his sister Sheila died on Christmas Day in Arizona of ALS. So we had a doubleheader. Friday we had Brian, and then Saturday we had Sheila. So we had them both. And I got to see a lot of relatives I hadn't seen in a while. But, as predicted, Archbishop Hebda
you had the arch.
was in the house.
Yeah, man, what was time of game?
I was very fearful.
Yep.
But we went about 110.
Hey, that's not bad.
And you know why?
Because you were sitting in the back going
you were
like
going
this,
like this.
giving him the rap
No,
sign.
because the Arch, who's a stout fella, was as overheated as the rest of us.
Yeah.
The Arch finally had to give the whole deal. And
Give the whole deal.
The Arch
Wipe his brow.
wiping his brow and
Yeah,
doing
the whole deal.
And the Arch, they had, full garments, the whole deal.
Yeah,
up there
vestments.
on these.
Oh, yeah.
And it had to be 98 in St. Mark's. No hint of air conditioning. And the only fans were up on the altar, aimed at the Arch,
Right.
trying to
We
get
gotta
up
keep this
underneath
guy
the garments,
from
trying
overheating.
to keep him a little heat. But he was heated up.
Did he give remarks?
He did not make the eulogy, homily, whatever it was, but he did talk briefly about how great it was to have parish priests like Brian O'Rourke right before he left. But he's got what is he, early 70s maybe? My age? Probably. I could be looking in a mirror, basically. He's a stout fella, just like I am, right?
Yeah.
But he's got the old man walk going, kind of the sideways shuffle thing.
Waddle.
So I think I could beat him in a walking contest, but he was definitely overheated.
Well, that saved you.
That saved us a lot of time, I think. Now, Brian...
61 years of age. He'll turn 62.
No.
Bernard Hebda, he'll turn 62 September 3rd.
Damn.
I didn't
he
think he
is-
was in his 70s.
He is not aging gracefully.
Whoops, hang
but
on.
anyway, like some of
We'll
us.
just delete that part.
Yes. No, we won't. He seemed like a hell of a guy.
He's a guy.
He is a good guy.
Seemed like
I've
a
seen
guy.
him at several functions. When I've been an MC, he will take the needle with a grace.
Yes,
he's a
and he was
fun
out,
guy.
He didn't run out when he was done. He sat down on the bottom of the steps and talked to people afterwards. Good guy.
Yeah.
But the guy who did the homily was, when Brian first went into the first had
Industry.
his vocation, he was a Capuchin monk.
Oh.
And I think the fact that the Capuchin monks, they like that, that hardcore, kneeling for 5 hours a
yeah.
day.
Right,
I mean, there's a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
Like the dude
and-
not Angela's Ashes. What is the one where they're looking for the Dan O'Brien book?
Yeah.
You didn't care for it.
I don't
can't think
like
of the
it.
name.
But he gave that up, right? He resigned from the Capuchins, and it took him, but he stayed very active in the church and working for the poor and all that stuff. But then he got through Archbishop Roach. He tried, he went through about a 10-year process of becoming a parish priest through Archbishop Roach, and went through the Vatican and the whole deal. And then he had he might have had a third parish here, but he had St. Mary's by the lake in Plymouth for a long time, and then he came back home to where he was an altar boy, St. Mark's for
How old was he when he died?
7 or 8 years, early 80s.
Yeah.
He had a massive heart attack about 15 years ago. That one was that kind of knocked him up for a peg, and he was living out in California, but raised $2 million for some charity or something. He was. But I
Well,
told
the good ones are rainmakers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
He
they
was,
can get the dough.
He could be a pretty funny guy, telling stories about my old man, and because he'd come down with his buddies in the summer, and my old man would just work them unmercifully, digging ditches and graves and everything. But he also, the funniest story was, I think, did I tell you this one about? he's the kind of guy that became very close to the parishioners, and as a big favor to him, some guy and his wife invited him to a Viking game.
Mm-hmm.
There is no place in the world he would rather not be than a Viking game around a bunch of drunks.
Right.
But he was too kind so he said yes. So he was telling Katie and I this story once, made about 20 minutes about how they first went to Jack's, and everybody got, drank, and he doesn't drink, and then took the bus downtown. And sat among the screaming fanatics, and then came back, and they wanted to. Father, are you going to stick around a little longer? Yeah. Jackie said, "No, I got to go." And he said, and 2 weeks later, they asked me again. And he said, for the next 5 years, I had to make up morbid stories of
I've got last rites for you, Hilda over there.
I had to kill off half the parishioners to make sure I didn't go to another Viking game.
Didn't she die last week? Whoops.
Died more often than Percy Harvin's grandmother.
Yes.
Went through more ailments than Percy Harvin's grandmother, but he was a good guy. But the art seemed like a good guy, but he was hot, man. Yeah. It was terrible.
So the key to a time of game is you got to look at the forecast.
Yes, right. I think that Brian planned his own. He knew he was dying. He planned his own service, but I think they shortened. I think the Arch looked at that when he went in the church and it was steaming, and said, "Let's get rid of this thing and this thing and this thing and
let's go
this thing."
We're going to go Eucharistic prayer number 2, the shorter one.
But his brother,
Arch pulled rank. That's all.
Yes. His older brother lives in Australia.
Who, Hebdos?
No,
Brian.
Brian's older brother, Darren. He was a brother, too, but he's not anymore. He was Brother Darren, and then he was Jerry, and then he was Frank, so it's hard to know what the hell to call him. But he's down.
Why was he changing his name?
He was first he was a brother.
Yeah.
And then he was not a brother, and then he went back to his original name, Jerry. Oh. But then in honor of his father, he became Frank, so... we get communication from Frank, and I said, God, Frank died 25 years ago. What the hell's going on here? And then it turns out it's Jerry. Yeah. But in Australia. But they had her on, like, live stream. Isn't this a great country? That
closed circuit?
Down in Australia, they could watch the funeral for him and then for his sister the next day.
Did you have to go somewhere and have a hard-boiled egg with nuts?
Yeah, over at the grade school there, down in the little basement
downstairs,
there, they had it. But
I think when you have, it's a rule of thumb that when you have a large priest, it is going to be shortened up, because I remember. Monsignor Steiner at Nativity was very skinny and guy. Small, and he took his time, and he was always Eucharistic prayer number 3 in the hot summer. But the Lightning Lannon, Father Lannon, he was a big guy, and he would be sweating, and he'd have those oscillating fans on him. We called him. We knew if it was above 85, it was going to be Lightning Lannon. He was going to shorten her up.
Yeah, it's there's nobody.
It was Slow Steiner, Lightning Lannon, and Shotgun Kelly.
And you knew Lightning Lannon wanted to get out of there, and he'd say, "If you really think you have to go to communion, come on out. But there's no obligation here. Don't."
That's what my friend John Malone said one time at Assumption on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
He said, when you get communion, turn around and leave the church.
That's right. Yeah. That would have been good for my old man. He generally left at the start of a communion, but once in a while he'd go up there. But no more, I don't want to use the word appropriate because you don't like it, but no more
fitting.
You can use it.
Death. No more fitting death than Richard's. My dad.
The squirrel stew.
No. Well, yeah, that's what killed him, but did not immediately. Oh. That the rabbit stew, he'd eaten that, and then caused his chest pains. But he went to St. Olaf's with Aunt Peggy on Saturdays, like they always did, and like 4:30 or something.
It's a catechism class,
right?
4:30, but then he left.
Yeah.
And when Peggy went to communion, he left and went and got the car. And he parked illegally outside St. Olaf, and he had a heart attack and died for leaving
That's what it was.
His last Catholic act.
Well,
was
how
to
old was
leave
Richard?
early. 68 is all.
That's all?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, you
Last Catholic act was to leave community, leave early.
to go do what? To go get the car.
Yeah.
That's what guys like to go get the car. I'm going to go get the car.
Yes. Well,
I'm not even at church. It's just wherever you are. It's a way to get out early. Hey,
One of my favorite lines from a granddaughter is it was a big baptism.
Yeah.
And we're all there. And I said, where's your father? I said, where's your dad? He's parking the car. I said, where's he going to park it? And she said, outside.
that's good.
Well,
That's good.
accurate. It was accurate.
Boy, they've relaxed the rules, though, haven't they, as far as the secular nature of the
Are we going to
church?
do the whole thing on religion today?
Well, I was going to bring
turn it
this
into-
up. I didn't. My cousin Kathleen told me that when she got married long ago, right, 60 years or something, but when she got married, her husband, even though he was a Catholic, didn't have any Catholic buddies, and his dad was dead.
Yeah.
And he had no brothers.
Yeah.
They made him find a Catholic to be the best man.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You couldn't even have a godless Lutheran as your best man.
I don't think it's that way now.
Oh hell no! When we just had the baptism,
Yeah.
the brother of the father was the godfather, and he'd never been in church in his life.
Right.
Nice
It's a pretty
guy,
nice place. Yeah.
nice guy. But we did tell him he's now responsible for making sure that the daughter goes to mass every Sunday. You know?
Got it.
So,
That
I
and
don't
some
think-
financial remuneration.
yeah, that's right. Anyway, yes, that's
Well-
it. That's it.
Well, but the Twins aren't really worth talking about.
No, what the hell?
They're
We can
done.
pray for them.
Yeah.
We can pray for them.
I looked it up today, Reavers. I think I've detected part of the problem.
Okay.
In 2019, they went 101-61, and they hit a whole bunch of home runs. But they also finished ninth in the major leagues in pitching. Last year, they didn't hit it nearly as well, but they still went 36-24 in the midseason, and were fourth in the major leagues in pitching.
How are we doing
This year, 27th.
How many
out of
teams?
30.
30.
27th out of 30, and the earned run average for all of baseball, the cumulative ERA, 4.10. They're 4.99.
Holy
In other words, damn near a run a game. They're giving up damn near a run a game than an average team, and a run a game still is important in a baseball game. So.
Where are they, on the
now
West Coast now?
They're in Seattle, and I think I saw they are now on pace to lose 96 games they're on pace to lose?
Well, it's 2011 all over
You
again
called
when
it
they
months
ended up
ago.
at 99. Yeah, but I didn't call it at the beginning. I picked up 87, 90. Every time I write something ripping them, some guy on Twitter sends me back 87 and 75, which was my prediction, which was, by the way, the least generous of all the Tribune guys, Star Tribune guys.
Well, they were projected to be a 94-win team, I
No,
believe.
the over and under was 88.5.
Well, I thought it was higher
it was
than
a little
that.
higher, but
Oh,
it was
okay.
like
What
fourth.
the hell happened? Well, Sano hasn't come through.
Terrible pitch.
Buxton doesn't play.
No, the pitching is their problem.
Pitching is a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But not to, I mean, the staff has been underwhelming, but the bullpen's been a disaster.
Did Buxton get activated on the way out to Seattle?
we expect him to play this evening, I think. But who knows? Why rush into it?
My Habs play tonight in Vegas.
Oh, go
You know,
Habs.
Maurice Richard and the boys, Guy Lafleur, they're turning over in their grave that,
Boy,
that the Yankees of hockey
Yeah,
are now
yeah.
playing in Las Vegas.
Belittle
I
themselves,
am
brother.
shocked that the Vegas has won the last four against Colorado, man. They whopped them in Game 3, and you thought, I mean, they just barely beat them in Game 3, and then they beat them 5-1, and I said, well, you know, Colorado will get them back home. And they
See the Island
lost
beat
in
the
overtime.
Tampas?
Way to go, Island.
Yeah,
You got to go out there for old time's
I
sake.
really should.
It would be great.
Just
wouldn't it?
visit that dumpy locker room.
Can you imagine a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night game there and that tailgate with those fans? That would be incredible.
Hey, were you in Boston for the playoffs that year too? Was there one of those years? Weren't you in Boston?
Probably.
Once? Didn't you tell me that you were up there? I was there, but I was there for basketball, and we kind of stood on that we had the front row of the second deck.
No,
there.
I was way up
Didn't
top.
you tell me you were up there and the train would go by and the
Yeah.
whole thing?
Plus, up there, fans had figured out access to the roof.
Oh yeah,
And they would
It
go
was hot.
outside
It
and
was
smoke
hot.
joints.
Plus, if they were playing late in the season,
Yeah.
no air conditioning.
Oh, it was
was
terrible.
I was there for 2 Celtics-Lakers games in 80, whatever year the U.S. Open was at Wingfoot. And it was unbelievable. It had to be 100 degrees and trying to play basketball or hockey. Jeez.
Well, how could they play that? How could they play hockey that late with no air conditioning? Was it just slush?
The ice in a lot of those places was not real good later. As they used to be done in
Wasn't there a
Early
fog
May.
game? What was the fog game? Dallas and
Was it
Buffalo?
Buffalo. It was Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't see the puck.
Couldn't see anything.
Couldn't see the other guy.
Because of the fog coming off the ice.
Wow.
Yeah, it would. But the Garden was. I was in there late writing one night, downstairs in the press room.
Yeah.
It was a rat circus.
Oh, yeah.
Walking out of there because they would, the fans and everybody'd leave, and then they'd come out and start eating the popcorn.
That's
and the
just
whole
like
thing.
that dump Fenway Park. Bulldoze
Overrated.
that
Yeah,
dump.
I've seen them there too.
Did you see the crowd at the Cubs game Saturday?
Yeah,
They had 45,000 for the first time.
They did
there?
not look like they were
Social
they
distancing?
were social distancing.
The always available Bill Murray sang the "Take Me Out to the Ball
I
Game."
saw that.
Yeah.
And the Cubs, Judd and I were just talking about this. The Cubs were going to trade Bryant. They were going to they didn't sign guys. Lester, they let him go, which was
Well,
good.
they traded Darvish.
Traded Darvish. They were going to kind of give up. Now they're in first place, and the fans are coming up 40,000, and they're going to have to hang in. Meanwhile, your Cardinals have lost 10 out of 11 or something, right?
Those end of the year series between the Cubs and the Brewers are always fun, though, especially when they play in Milwaukee.
Maybe we'll get a Cubs White Sox series.
No, we could.
Yep.
We had one as recently as 1906, was it? I'm not sure.
I don't remember that one.
I don't either, but somewhere they did play each other in
Yeah.
one year in there. I think maybe the last time before this last time that the Cubs won it, I think 1906, but I might be wrong.
84 Wingfoot.
84, I was in there.
Yep.
That
I
was
covered it. I covered the Open there in '74.
That was a great series. Jack was there. Jack was there, game 2, and Jack, they're going to lose, so the Celtics are ahead of them. Jack gets up and leaves, and the whole crowd is singing, "Hit the Road, Jack," and he moons them.
Oh.
He dropped his pants. And Jack always had like these 2 guys in leather
I don't know.
jackets.
Boy, is he
suits.
fallen off the public scope,
Oh,
hasn't he?
God, he's 80-something.
1906, the Chicago White Sox beat the Chicago Cubs.
And by the way, where are my keys? But Jack mooned him walking out. It was great.
They have a list here of the below is a chronological list of World Series play between teams from the same metropolitan area. And there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, there's been a
Well,
bunch.
Yankees, Dodgers, and
Yeah.
damn near all of them are New York. Yankees, Giants, Yankees, Dodgers.
The St. Louis Browns lost to the Cardinals in 1944.
Didn't the Browns become the Orioles?
Yes, and that was because of the war. The Browns were so bad that nobody would draft them. The Army didn't want them, so they won the pennant, and they were traditionally horrible. And they became the Orioles in '52.
Did the Browns and the Cardinals play in the same park?
Yep.
Sportsman?
And I believe one of them. I think the Browns were the major tenant, but I might be wrong. No, obviously not when it became Busch Stadium, but Sportsman's Park, right? Mm-hmm. That was one of the great mock stories. '64. This was '64. World Series used to be like teams, executives, and the owner and the manager and the general manager. They go to the World Series, right? And '64, the Phillies blow it, right? And Mock is there with John Quinn, and his guy, and he's about 15 rows behind the Cardinals dugout, National League side, and they run out. He had to get up and leave. He couldn't.
No, he couldn't take
He couldn't take the idea that the Phillies weren't in it, and he'd missed the World Series as he did for the rest of his career. He never got to manage in a World Series or play in a World Series. But I remember him telling me
He never
that.
did after that?
No, he had the Angels twice. He was.
Oh, that's right. They lost to Boston when they were up 3-1.
He was ahead 2-0 against the Brewers when it was a best of 5, and they lost 3 in a row in Milwaukee in '82. And then in '86 they were up 3-1. Donnie Moore came in and gave up the home run to Dave Henderson, and they lost that one too. That's when the Twins played them in '02, right?
Yes.
ALCS in '02. I called them up, and one of my questions was, "Are you going to the ball game, Game 3?" He says, "No, they invited me. They want me to come up, but I'm not going to be responsible if they get beat." He said, "If I'm there and if the Angels get beat and I'm their guest, I'll get the blame." He said, "I'm not going." I'm not going.
Would he have liked the rally monkey? Would he have been a big rally monkey
He
guy?
would have taken anything he could get to the World Series, man. That was life itself for him. So, but I was in Milwaukee for that. Would you? '82. You were. Mm-hmm. Were you there when they played? When they beat the Angels?
Yes.
5. Mm-hmm. Rodney. Rodney.
Wasn't the '82 series Milwaukee and St. Louis?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And then the Brewers after that was a great series. And but the Milwaukee crowd was as raucous as any I've ever seen in County Stadium, man. They love that team.
That's a great baseball town, Milwaukee.
Are the Bucks going to get to the finals?
I don't know. Well, the Nets, if Irving's hurt, Harden's hurt, and now Irving last night sprained an ankle, so they might beat them, yeah.
We got another new golfer I've never heard of who won a tournament.
No, and that Chesson, whatever his name was.
Chesson Hadley? I think?
3 ahead with 3 to go, and ended up hitting it in the water and hitting it all. I
had
watch
never
it.
heard of that tournament.
Where was it?
It was called the Palmetto Challenge. It was in South Carolina.
So the Palmetto, the golf course must have came up with local sponsors or something,
I don't
because
know.
there's no company called Palmetto.
They had a pretty decent field considering it's U.S. Open week.
Yeah.
Dustin Johnson was there.
Yeah, he was there, and he made a run and then hit it in the water like he has a tendency to do these days. That's right. It's U.S. Open week and nighttime
We
TV.
get primetime golf.
Nighttime TV is taken care of. That's right.
That's perfect.
Is that nice for you?
I love that.
Nice for you? Okay. Quality time with the bride? Okay.
No, she doesn't really care about the U.S. Open.
Well, and if Brooke, I can give them a hole-by-hole outlook.
Yeah, our
'cause
guy
it's
played
at
with his...
It's at my course, Joe. Of
What? How is the golf balls
I
again?
wonder how many of the golfers will have their golf balls in a plastic bag.
Well, I did. In fact, Pat, I don't know if
the
you
trend.
heard the whole story, but when we were out there on vacation, I went to a Play It Again Sports, similar to that, to just buy a bag and 2 clubs. And when
they let you on, huh?
well, I had to wait until late in the day when everybody else all the members.
Did somebody else pay for it? Or
No,
what
I
it
did.
cost you?
I
What it cost
it
you?
was
$150.
No, it was two and a quarter.
Wow.
But the best part, Pat, was the young man that was assisting everybody with their stuff. He said, "Sir, you left your bag," and I said, "Keep it."
Covered. Thank you.
Did you hear that, Price Giants Ridge fans? We'll play the Corey and the Legend.
When are we going up there? Royce's
we're
got to
gonna-
come with us.
Yeah, you want to take our golf trip with us? He dragged the clubs out for this event.
Okay. So who's what is the event?
Well, we're making
Just
one up.
us.
Garage
I
Logic
thought you were
Open.
raising money for something.
Kenny said he gets to rip heaters and drive the beverage
Okay,
cart.
we have to get. Tell me when you're going. I'll get Mayasich to come out and have a drink with you.
Oh, boy.
One of the, he'll come out.
Does he live right near there?
Yeah, he lives in, Boabic, basically.
Far away.
Yeah, he lives. He lives right there. Still doing okay too. I talked to him.
Good.
I was going to.
Are he and the big guy still good buddies, I think?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
forever.
think when you played hockey with John, and he was your idol.
Yeah.
Because he was so damn good. I think that secures you for.
Right. I think Stan played with him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Plus a former employee here.
Yeah.
salesman.
I don't know if they weren't on the same line though. The line was Mayasich, Doherty, and who the hell was the third guy? It was the most famous line in Gopher history, and I can't remember who the third guy is. Dick Doherty, who was a great player, I think he just passed away, and Johnny.
Johnny's in what, his 80s?
Yeah, but he's still doing pretty good. I think he still plays some golf. I think I'm not sure how much so. And what a good guy though, man alive. Dick Doherty, Dougherty.
I'm looking for the line.
I can't remember him. You know that Eveleth had a high school team that Michigan was like the power, and Ike was the goalie, and Matt Cheffs was another Eveleth guy who was the superstar for them. And the University of Minnesota gave their first scholarship hockey scholarship to get John because they, his family had zero money. And Doherty, Mayasich, and that's all you got to type. Doherty, Mayasich, and.
Maybe I can beat him on this computer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the rooster on here.
No, you don't need the rooster.
Well, that's what I was looking at the U of M's website here to see if I could pull up a roster from back then.
Although Mayasich was a dominant
They played
force in the
together in
college
the
ranks,
Olympics.
he never chose to turn pro. The Iron Ranger had other commitments. I was in the ROTC program when I was at the U, he said. I had a 2-year obligation. I played in the 56 Olympics that was coached by Johnny Maruch. I took my degree in education, and with 3 kids in my family,
Campbell.
only 6 in the NHL, I
Campbell.
accepted a
Gene
job
Campbell.
from Stanley Hubbard at Hubbard Broadcasting, and I don't regret any of it.
Well, the reason he didn't is it was a 6-team league, and they treated Americans like, I don't know, like
Second-class citizens.
Campbell.
yes. Gene Campbell.
Campbell.
Attaboy,
Like
Roy.
the soup.
I found it by typing Mayasich, Doherty, and.
I did too, but it didn't come up.
Yeah, well,
We got her.
Campbell, Gene Campbell.
They're all out there.
Oh, I spelled Doherty wrong.
Dougherty.
Yeah, I got the
I got her.
Dough part.
Right, Campbell's right after Doherty.
Yeah. I think Gene. Did Gene just? I don't. I'm killing.
Don't
off
kill
too many
anybody
people.
I've got
a bad habit.
You
of killing people.
haven't. You've had a good run though. You haven't done it for a while.
Yeah, because damn near everybody's dead.
Who was was it the Twins pitcher that you had?
No, Vern Mickelson.
Oh, I thought it was a Twins pitcher recently.
Twins pitcher did I kill off too?
Who was the guy? Yeah, lived in Appleton.
Oh, Jerry Kuzman.
Jerry, yes.
Come like it is,
Jerry
Coos.
Kuzman from Appleton died. And if he died in Morris, but he was like an Appleton native. How did I know that there's half the people out there are Kuzmans?
Yeah.
There's millions of them. There's dozens of them.
Didn't he call you like, no, Pat, I'm still around?
No, I called to see who answered, to see if I could get some information, and he answered. I said, "You sure sound like Coos," and he says, "I am Coos." I said, "Well, gee, that's too bad."
Wasn't Mike in the
That's
other
too
one?
bad you're alive. You
Mickelson.
screwed me up.
Oh, Mickelson?
Vern
Vern
Mickelson.
Mickelson. That's
I
what it
was
was.
pulling into the Wild
Yep.
parking lot, and I get a call from the Star Tribune sports desk and said, "Vern Mickelson, Sid just told us that Vern Mickelson died." And I said, "Oh, bleep." So I'm driving back, and I did the hit with you guys.
Yeah. On time, I bet.
And revealed that the great Vern Mickelson, one of the great guys ever, had died. And I get in the Star Tribune parking lot, and they call me and said, "Actually, Sid made a mistake.
Oh.
Vern Mickelson told him that Joey Hutton Jr. had died."
Sid just got a little. He was close. He was close.
He thought that Joey Hutton Jr. had told him that Mickelson died, but
Where's the party?
Yeah.
Vern had told him that Joey Jr. had died. So then I called up Vern and said, "Vern, what a comeback!" And I told him, "We killed you off, Vern," and then he got a few. I think I got a column out of it. Vern, greatest comeback in sports history.
It's like when you play the telephone game. It's
He was not a big fan of the great man, Sidney.
Vern?
Yes, the entire story about if the Lakers had only traded Vern Mickelson to the Celtics, they could have had Bill Russell and blah, blah. That was told so often, Sid actually believed it, even though Arbach denied it and everybody else.
Sure.
We're going to.
Every time the Celtics came to town, it was repeated.
It was Gene Campbell.
Yes.
Gene.
Is that what you're looking up?
No, I'm looking up what the temperature is right now in Vegas. I was talking about those
103, I'm betting.
those hot days in hockey arenas. I want to know what it is, right? Oh, cool. That's so modern. And
So you
new,
think
I'm sure
those Montreal Canadiens, as they're getting off the bus, are not getting that that quaint feel as they do when they
What'd you
come to the
guess?
X?
103.
it's 103.
No, I didn't look, honest to God.
Right there, 103.
What a weatherman. I could have been a good weatherman.
Mr.
Guess the
Colley.
humidity. Mm-hmm. Give me the humidity.
40.
Nothing. 22.
5%.
Oh, my
That I
God.
I'll take 103 if it's 5%.
Holy
okay.
man. Well, now, this is game 1 between Vegas and the Habs.
Yes.
When is game 2? Do they skip a day?
Yeah.
So they'll be out there Wednesday?
110.
117.
Ooh, yeah, that'll get a little toasty.
Just a quick football note, gentlemen. Daniil Hunter and the Minnesota Vikings have agreed to a new reworked contract on the first day of mandatory minicamp.
They caved in, huh?
Daniil gets significant more money moved up in his contract while Minnesota gets one of its stars to report. Hunter will receive a lot of money. Let's just put it that way.
That's a good
haven't
way to
told
call
They
it.
told us yet?
This is from Ian Rappaport.
He's pretty good.
$18 million new roster bonus on the 5th day of the league year. So, and he's received a couple of more years added on to his existing deal.
How much do we know? How much is? He hasn't told us yet how much of it's guaranteed. Huh?
No, but he will be on the books for $20 million next year.
Next year, okay.
Is he worth it?
If his neck's healthy,
If he's healthy, he's the most important
he's
player
pretty
on the
good.
defense.
He's pretty good if he's healthy, but if he's not, he's Byron Buxton. you know?
Yep.
So, although they haven't paid Buxton yet, well, they're trying to take Spielman and Zim know that this is it.
They're on the clock.
They got to win. So they got to. I don't even know if making the playoffs is good enough. I think they got to win a game in the playoffs.
Are they
for
going to
sure.
trade Rodgers, do you think?
Yep.
I do too.
Yeah, they're going to trade him. They're just, there's what the hell sense is there not to?
Especially if he doesn't want to play.
Especially as good as Jordan Love looked in the minicamp.
Yes.
That's my new way to agitate. Is
I never
every
figured
time I
out-
see something positive about Jordan Love, I said, they're going to have the best quarterback in the division again.
I never figured out what he was pouting about.
I think he's pouting.
They
People
took the
think
ball out
it's
of his
because
hands,
they took it. I think it's more the field goal and thinking they're idiots, and he doesn't like Brian Gutekunst. He does. He wanted them to get him a receiver last year to go with Devontae Williams Devontae Adams in a draft in which was loaded with receivers, and he took another quarterback, and that originally irritated him. And then, luckily for him, Devontae Adams was fabulous. And then I think he's mad at the coach for kicking the field goal and him sitting there, and the game ends with him sitting on the bench.
The best was the one guy that asked him about it in a Jeopardy question. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Who decided to kick the field goal?
Right.
Plus, he's got the new girlfriend. He wants to be in California, right?
Yes.
And she'll probably, if he's in Denver, she'll come to Colorado. They can have a nice little place halfway up the mountains, worth a few million.
Take some edibles.
But she ain't going to Green Bay.
No.
She ain't hanging out all winter in Green Bay. What's her name?
Oh,
She's got a goofy first name.
she does have a goofy first name.
She was in one of
Dorothy.
No.
Shaona or some damn
I've
thing.
never heard of him.
She was in, I don't know how in the hell I ended up in this movie. And my
Shailene Woodley.
Oh yeah, she's a cutie. She was in the
Danica introduced her to Aaron, and then Aaron dumped Danica for her. He's
whoops.
that kind of guy.
Yeah, she was in the
She was in Fault of the Stars, right?
Fault of the Stars. Yes,
I went to that with my wife, and she should never, ever dislike me again for sitting through that piece of crap.
Wasn't on your.
Why did I go? I don't know why
I have no
went.
idea.
I don't know. Just the name should have told me that I shouldn't go.
She was in the George Clooney movie where he was running around Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
The Descendants, I think
That
it was.
wasn't bad.
No, that was
wasn't
pretty
a bad
good.
movie.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. The Descendants, by the standards of it.
Right.
Let's go to the bank.
You gotta go to the bank?
Yeah.
I'm going to make a recommendation, which you would, another one. I'm the, another
Bitcoin?
Another TV watching recommendation. Mm-hmm. Flack on Amazon.
F-L-A-K.
F-L-A-C-K. Flack. It's about these PR people in London, 3-4 women. Anna Paquin is in it, and but they have Hollywood types and client types, athlete types, getting in big jams, and then they come up with creative ways to get them out of it. And like, for instance, this last one I watched, this charming young couple that is the in couple in Vegas and in London had their first child, and it was an African. It was a black child.
Okay.
And he's not black.
Oh,
So
interesting.
so they call in the specialist and say, what do we do here? You know. And,
well,
they convinced him to admit he was infertile, and that he was a big buddy of the guy, the basketball player who had impregnated her, and they asked him as a friend to donate the sperm. And
got it.
I thought that was pretty creative.
Got it.
Pretty
Yeah, that's
creative.
creative.
Yes, it is. That's the kind of stuff that goes on.
But
But it's also, we're coming out of the pandemic, and we've been watching a lot of stuff. You know?
I've got one recommendation for you guys. Don't know if you'll take me up on it or not, but there's a new show out, The Celebrity Dating Game. I highly recommend you guys take that one in. Kind of be celebrities. They kind of set themselves up, and it's some quirky twists. It can get nutty.
Yes.
Celebrity Dating
That's
Game.
it for me.
Okay, we're
He has left the bank.
We're done.
The show is called Fleck.
Flack.
Positivity is going to change this culture,
Yes,
period. When you
there's
get inside
one on
the
this
football
guy,
walls,
too.
you're going to have positivity hit you right in the face.
Yes, that's right. I'm
Thanks.
still miffed they didn't give me that job as the Gopher beat writer.
Oh, that's right.
You're a natural.
You
A
You even
natural.
tossed your hat in the
He
ring.
and I would have
that'd
gotten
have been
along
great.
right swimmingly.
Joe's already filling out his
Get to the
withdrawal
bank,
slip.
man. Get to the bank.
Anything left in there?
This is Patrick Gracie with the Canopy Group. What does dedication, perseverance, resilience, and accomplishment best describe today? The Canopy Group believes it's the graduating classes of 2021. What we are most proud of for these graduates is their ability to overcome challenges in their pursuit of future opportunities. True to their perseverance and resiliency, these students are finding new ways to celebrate their milestones and their success on this journey. It puts a smile on all of our faces as we drive through communities and see dozens and thousands and hundreds of yard signs. It is amazing that what these graduating students have gone through, and they deserve the spotlight, for they are Minnesota's future. Please join the Canopy Group in honoring your friends, relatives, and neighbors who represent the graduating classes of 2021.
This is Reavers once again for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. And Josh has a very basic question for you. Do you know what you own? You see, Mr. Money Talk's clients, and that's Josh Arnold, by the way, they always know what they own. He has found out that most people that he meets with every single day, they have no idea. Josh has seen retirement portfolios that have a big percentage in bonds, and there are real instances of people that are paying more in commissions and fees than they can possibly make on the rate of return that these bonds currently yield. Josh begs of you, know what you own. You see, trust is often overused, and it's even harder to find. Take it from me that you can trust Josh. Give him a call today for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. Call him at 952-925-5608. Once again, that's 952-925-5608 for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold.
EcoFun has e-bikes in stock. And why is that important? Because every other bike retailer is out of stock and will not be getting new e-bikes until December or January. You can't even get one for Christmas from them. The weather is warming up, so if you are in the market for an e-bike, scooter, or ATV, go to EcoFun right now. EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake. Talk with Tim Bloom, the owner of EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake. Tim and his family will help you select the e-bike that is right for you, and they will deliver it to your front door in the metro area. Right now, EcoFun has Bentelli e-bikes and Yamaha Motor Assist bikes in stock. EcoFun also carries the full line of Yamaha scooters, motorcycles, and a wide variety of Yamaha ATVs, including ATVs for kids. Check out EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake and online at ecofunmotorsports.com and tell Tim that old bicycler Patrick Racy sent you.